it's Jai for Fudgery here, and I'm with a very, very, very special guest today. That my special guest like to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Little Rascal, and you may meet from IGame Online or on Facebook or whatever, but yeah, I am the cosplay guest.
Awesome. So we're just gonna jump right in. But before we jump right in, I want to say again, we are having some really bad weather here in the UK. So if the feed cuts at any moment, I do apologise. There's not really an awful lot I can do about that. But we're just gonna have to persevere and keep going.
Yep, definitely.
So, first off, I'm gonna ask you, Little Rascal, when did you first start cosplaying?
I started cosplaying a very, very long time ago, roughly about 2008, with a very small group of people, and it was a very long time ago. I was very young, but it was so much fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What or who inspired you to cosplay?
It was a lot of photos online, which I had no idea what were at the time, and it was mainly friends at the time, which all got together and wanted to cosplay all together. Yeah.
Awesome. Do your friends that kind of got you into cosplaying, do they still do cosplay?
Some of them do, yeah. Some of them are really, really good at making their own costumes now. But some of them I don't speak to unfortunately anymore, but I think they still do as well. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
In your opinion, oh sorry, that's a different. What has been the most challenging cosplay that you've ever done?
It's got to be Marvel's Titanic. It was made from 4 layers of chiffon with an extra layer of like cotton, and it was really, really thick to go under the sewing machine, and I screamed every time I was trying to make that. But yeah, that was extremely difficult.
I'm going to divide that up into two questions. So you've got that one being the most difficult one to make.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging one, like coming from an acting standpoint?
Um,
Because like I know that you do a little bit of acting as well.
yeah, I think it was when I had my first masquerade, and it wasn't the fact of having to be that character, it was the fact of the stage fright, and I didn't really move to do anything. So, I think it was my Haruhi for Geoga, and I just stood there and froze, and it was really hard to be that character because it was a costume that she hardly. It was at the end of the series, and it was hard to be that character in that costume and have stage fright. So, yeah.
On the acting side of things there, because I did mention you do a little bit of acting.
Yeah.
What type of acting is it that you do? Because I haven't been told about this, you see.
I see. Well, mainly with my friends, me. But if I'm like talking to someone about a character, I will try to be that kind of character, or in a masquerade or contest or anything like that. Full effort into being that character and showing off poses and quirky faces and stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Would you recommend doing that? Like what is? Can you take us maybe through the process that you go through when it comes to performing a particular character? Do you research how they move, how they talk?
Yeah, if it's a character that I've just like started to like from a series that I've just finished watching, then it's all fresh in my mind. But if I go back to something I haven't seen, I will go back to like scenes that they do specific things in, or have a look through images and have a look through the poses again, and then practice them in the mirror to see what they look like, along with like facial expressions and hand movements and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
Now, you recently did Harley Quinn at the Newcastle Comic Con from the Arkham series.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Did you happen to do a voice impersonation of her?
I didn't know.
No?
I didn't. I was quite bamboozled by many other Harleys, so I was just like, as the timid one, I was like, oh god, I haven't practiced for this whatsoever. That was the really like last minute cosplay for me. So I didn't do much of anything for that one, to be perfectly honest.
Now,
Yeah.
I have been told that you and your partner in crime, Kobe Kicks, did two
Yes.
costumes over those 2 days, because that was a 2-day event. So we know that Harley was your first day costume. What was your second day costume?
Unfortunately, I couldn't make the Sunday.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I
Had
had
you
work.
had been there, what would have been your second day costume? Did you have one kind of set aside?
I didn't. If I knew that I was going to the event like months and months before, I probably would have made something completely different. Um, but if I had to choose another last minute costume, I was going to be Lara Croft.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've spoken a little bit about different costumes. In your opinion, what is the most difficult thing or character cosplay as?
That I've done, or
Just in general, like, well, first in general, like, what do you think is a character that people should just like steer away from altogether because it would be too difficult to do? And in your own experience, like, what's been this difficult one to do?
I don't think that there's anything that people should like stay away from. If they want to cosplay it, they should cosplay it, or however they want to cosplay it. But for me, any character that has armor at the moment, that's my kind of danger zone, as you would say. I haven't learned how to make armor yet, which hopefully next year I'm going to work alongside Kobe and get some experience into making armor. So that should be a nice safe area in the future.
Big shout out to Expo Ratchet.
Yes,
We're
big,
hoping
big
to
shout
get
out.
back from here soon. Um, that's kind of strange that you said that because my last two interviews, they are people who have done Pyramid Head,
Oh wow.
and Pyramid Head, as you know, is like Big Giant Pyramid Head, hence the name.
Yeah.
And the cosplays that these people have done are fantastically accurate
Oh
to the
wow.
point where they can actually see, so their field of vision's kind of screwed up. But when you look at what they're actually wearing, and I'm hoping at some point I can send off an image of this. You look at the actual image on a guy's head and you think, how do you see through that? Because it looks as if you are actually carrying a big giant metal thing.
Yeah.
And both people that I've spoken to, it's just been cardboard and hot glue.
No way.
Totally
Oh
true.
my god.
Like cardboard and hot glue. You would not believe the like craziness of it.
Jeez. Oh god. Yeah, that just sounds. It's you just think of all the different materials that people could
Yeah.
use, and then it's like it's so simple. Like the material. Oh wow.
I don't know whether you've spoken to Alpha Betty before. Alpha Betty cosplays.
No, I haven't. No.
He does some fantastic, and I really do mean fantastic Skyrim cosplays.
Wow.
I think this is why Covey, again, there's Covey popping up again. You're probably going to hear that name a lot in this recording, guys. He, Covey had mentioned him on one of her social medias and said, go support this guy because he does amazing cosplays. And Covey was not lying. Because I had the opportunity to go and look at some of his cosplays before interviewing him. And he's done, like, a high elf armor for Skyrim.
That's really cool.
And he actually brought it out on the recording and to show me, and I swear the amount of detail that goes into this particular armor looking type thing is insane. But it's all like foam and plastics.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a
So-
crazy.
But would you, when you're doing that, do you mean would you like to work with what they're kind of doing, like the foam, the plastics, the cardboard, the hot glue, or would you go with the more the metals kind of thing?
I'd probably stick foam. I probably have an idea where to start. I know my little list of starting consists with a hot glue gun and a heat gun to mold craft foam. But I know it can get really expensive, which I'm
Oh,
really not looking
very.
forward to.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
When you're doing a cosplay event, what is the one thing that you're most excited about? And maybe not so much now because I do believe you've got quite a few cosplay events under your belt. But what is the one thing that you're most nervous about also? Maybe not as much being nervous now, but what was one of the things that you are possibly still nervous about or just not so much?
I used to love everything about the events.
Mhm.
But now it's mostly to see my friends. It's one place that everyone seems to want to go to, and I'm like, well, I'll meet you all there in one place. And Masquerade, I still love to see Masquerade. I really do, cosplay Masquerade. But the nervousness is getting photos taken with people. I'm still so nervous. Really, really, when they ask for photos, I'm like, yeah, sure, take a photo. And I'm like, that was so scary. But yeah.
But that is one thing that I got told about, because like I started my journey in cosplay this year, and it was back in. I actually have it written down here somewhere if I can find it. See, this is the thing, guys. Like, you need to, no matter how well prepped you are to do things like an interview, you're never prepped enough.
No.
So back in August of this year is when I officially started cosplaying. And I was, like, strangely enough, decided that I was going to go to a big Comic-Con. So I decided to go to the film and comic book convention in my local area.
All right.
And I think it used to be called Collectomania.
Oh, I've heard that, yes.
So I went to that, and as I was talking to the guys, and I gave them like, oh, make sure you do this, and make sure you carry around a bottle of water, because you're going to get thirsty and dehydrated, and make sure they take plenty of pictures. And I think the weirdest thing was in terms of pictures, because like yourself, I don't like get my picture taken.
And you still, I'm all right now, but I'm still like, it's people coming up, and I'm like, oh, I don't know who you are. Oh yeah, hi.
I still like hesitate. Like, I hate doing family pictures. You know, it's in like pictures of me when I'm not in cosplay or something like that. I hate
Yeah,
it.
I don't like
It's
that.
like,
Yeah.
no. But being cosplay, it kind of gave me a different perspective. And one of the things that one of the people at iGame said was, be prepared for people to stop you and want pictures.
Yeah.
And they did not want. That first event I went to, I had about, I don't know, like 7, maybe 10 people come up to me and say, can I get a picture with you?
Yeah.
And you're like,
It's crazy.
me? So yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from on the whole pictures thing being the nerve-wracking thing.
Yeah, definitely.
When you've been at these events, have you ever won anything for being in cosplay? And if you did, what was running through your head when they called you up?
I think it was I've won a few little awards, but the one that sticks in my head is got to be the best homemade costume at Thought Bubble. I think it was in Leeds 2010. I think it was, and that was so like surprising because they only had 3 winners, like first, second, and third. But then they were like, "Oh, we've got a best whole costume and a best this," and I'm like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Oh God, I won that." I was just like, "Oh no, I didn't realize they were like doing so many more prizes for people," and I was like, "Oh wow, so cool." And I was shaking so bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because like winning a prize, like you don't anticipate it. Like, do you sometimes do the same thing I do? Like, you look at other people's cosplays and go, oh my god, you know, there's like, they're so talented, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like the event that I went to, I noticed there was like 2 people dressed as the nurses from Silent Hill, and the amount of detail that goes into that costume, you just tend to think, oh my god, you know.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So I've got a little bit of a sub question here for you. Have you ever cosplayed to a particular audience? Like, have you ever done like cosplay where you're dressed as a fictional character from a children's TV show?
Apart from like Pokemon, not really. My niece joined me for a group for an event at CherryCon a few years back, and my niece was an Eevee, and I was an Espeon, and Toby was an Umbreon. So we kind of had a little trio going on. But other than that, I've only really done it for the characters I like or something. Yeah.
When you're in cosplay, do you normally get like little kids pointing you out to their mums or dads or whoever they're with and saying, "Mum, look, that's so and so from such and a thing.
Yes, this wasn't actually at a convention. I dressed up as Elsa for, I think it was either Christmas or Halloween or something like that for work, and all the little kids were like, "Oh, it's Elsa, she's on behind the till. What's she doing there?" And I'm like, "Ah, it's
She's
my
working.
part-time job." Yeah, funny. Yeah.
Because like I've had a few people mention that they worked with a group where they did do a kind of like adventure time thing,
Mm.
and the amount of children that recognised them was just like insane, and all the kids just flocking to them for pictures, and
Oh,
even
bless.
some mums and dads, you know. So have you ever had an experience like that where like you're in costume and there was nothing but little kids just wanting pictures all the time when you did the Elsa experience, or was that kind of like one of your top five?
Well, it's probably the only time I've done cosplay that kids have recognised. At slightly at Newcastle Film and Comic Con, they recognised me, Holly, the little girl. I think it was as like Catwoman and the little child as well. But it was only them two that really said, "Oh, I know who that is. Can I get a photo?" Sort of thing. Yeah.
Have you noticed when you've been at these Comic Cons that the age of cosplayers is getting younger and younger?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on that particular question, I'll ask you this: and what is the cutest cosplay that you've seen this year?
Oh, that's a really hard one. I was at D-Side Unleashed, which is another convention, yearly convention. That's awesome. Um, and there was tons of kids in cosplay, but they were really creative. There was a little Mystique, and she came on the stage and she was doing all the little moves and stuff, and she was like so small. Everyone was just like, "Oh, that's so cute." But then there's people had like babies as Batman and Superman, all that kind of thing, which is really cool as well.
I'll tell you a funny story. I was at an event on Halloween, firstly,
Mhm.
and it was a kind of semi like Walking Dead event, so a lot of people were kind of done up like zombies, and they had the um, I don't know what it's called. It's the stuff that you attach to your face.
Oh, what is it again?
It's like a
Can't remember what it's called. What was it called?
Kofi said she was going to be experimenting with it.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, I can't remember what it's
Um,
called.
we'll fill in the blank later. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll think about it and it'll pop into our head. So we were off at this event, and there was the people there with the fake blood and the like open wounds and all that. And I've noticed, like, I have to admit, I'm still relatively new to the ways of cosplay, so I didn't know how to do like these kind of open wounds and such like. So I just had a very basic like face paint stitch across my face.
Oh,
Because I can work with face paint, so I know face paint quite well.
yeah.
And for the type of character that I was doing a kind of like crossplay Harley who was mixed in with Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really cool.
I'll send you a picture of that later.
Yeah.
So I met my friend. Now he had this kind of. I'm just going to call it face putty just now because I can't remember what it's actually called. But he had this kind of like face putty, like smashed open grin on his face, and he had bits of blood and such like hanging all over, and I was like, oh great, there's no way that no child would be screaming at you. And we went into the building and we did our normal circuit around just like, all the different stalls, and there was a little baby with his mother there, and when he took one look at my friend, he just like turned into his mother's neck and started screaming the
Oh,
place out.
no.
And I
Oh,
felt so bad for my friend. It's like, oh, it's okay, it's not
it
your
looked
fault.
realistic, I suppose.
It really did. But I had another experience this very same day, and it was just after we had done the cosplay march, the masquerade march.
Mhm.
I noticed a different little baby in this kind of like bug suit. But it was like, you know, those kind of like cartoon bugs that you get?
Yeah.
They have the big, like, googly eyes and such like. He was in one of them, and I was like, I have to so go up there and just say hello. And when I went up, I was like, oh, please don't cry, please don't cry, please
Oh,
don't
no.
cry. Because I know I look kind of scary at the moment, please don't cry. child didn't cry. They just laughed.
Oh no,
So I
that's
was like,
better.
oh, thank God. So no crying child.
Yeah,
Um, but I honestly think that's great when you see little cosplaying children, you know.
yeah,
Because a little bug kid that I went and seen, their older brother, and
yeah.
was only, I'd say he's primary school age, so like maybe primary one, so that's roughly about what, maybe 6, 7 years of age.
Yeah.
He was done up as a little Ghostbuster,
Oh, wow.
and he had the little proton pack and the little gun thing. It was just amazing seeing that.
No.
I was like, oh, that takes me back. I feel.
Yeah.
um,
Like, I wish I started at that age.
yeah, me too. um, so I'm actually going to ask you about an event that you tend to organise.
Yes.
Can you tell me and the people watching everything you can about this little event you do called Densetsu?
Yes. Well, a few years back, I worked with a team for another event. After kind of splitting away and wanting to do my own little thing, I created Densetsu, which is a anime Japanese culture fundraising event, which has had two events, a small event and a main event, and we raised money for Children's Heart Fund and St. Oswald's. And it's pretty much a convention, but on a smaller scale with a little bit of everything. So you've got your little gaming room, you've got your little cafe, cosplay masquerades, art contest, dealers, artists, and you name it, but just on a smaller scale. It's pretty cool.
Can I ask you to repeat the charity that you do it for, please?
It was St. Oswald's and Children's Heart Unit Fund at Freeman Hospital.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah.
There was just a little bit of a cut there, so I wasn't kind of sure what it was your charity was there.
Sorry. Yeah.
So that's fantastic. So where do you normally do Densetsu? If somebody say has kind of like idea of that, where can they find you guys?
For information on it, you can check on Facebook. I think the link is like facebook.com and it's Densetsu event because Densetsu was taken. And we also have a website, which is a Weebly website, so you just put in Google Densetsu event Weebly and it'll bring up the Weebly site as well. We currently have plans for next year, but nothing's set in stone yet. We still need to work on it.
Awesome. Now, thank you for telling us that a lot about Densetsu. Can you maybe now tell us what it's like planning a cosplay event?
It's
or an event like
quite hard.
Okay.
I've had a lot of help from Gateshead Library and the events organizer there. He has helped us with holding our last few events at the library. So my kind of job has been like all the other kind of things, like finding volunteers and dealers and making sure that everyone has got their own little area to work with and everything runs smoothly, which sometimes can go very wrong with sound not working, which we had a problem with once, but we managed to fix it. Yeah. But everything's worked out well, and our two main goals are people having a good time enjoying it and raising money for charity, which are the two main goals for our event. Awesome. Which is being cool.
What advice would you give anybody who is maybe in a kind of like small town area that would like to do a similar event in Densetsu?
I would probably think of getting in touch with their local council, pitching the idea to them and maybe getting through them. But treating it a fundraising event, you could pretty much do any little thing as long as you have, your basic knowledge of organising something. But I think it'll be quite hard to do anything bigger, to be perfectly honest. But if I'm in touch with councils and other kind of people, your friends and that, you could probably put something together, which is like a fundraising event or something. Yeah.
Awesome. When Densetsu actually comes along, do you do any judging, like when it comes to competitions, or is that something that you prefer other people to do?
Yeah, I prefer other people to do it. If it's an art contest, I would rather have an artist judge it. Even the cosplay contest, I don't like to judge it myself. I like to get the cosplayers in. We had 2 cosplayer guests doing in August for the cosplay contest then, which made a hell of a lot like more not professional, but that they were getting judged by outside cosplayers rather than Fiona or some random person
Okay.
with
Um,
with a experience.
awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ask you, getting back to the cosplay thing, what has, in your opinion, been the most popular cosplay outfit this year?
Um. Mm, I would actually say Harley Quinn. my
Not a
last minute,
surprise.
my last minute costume. Um. But equally, Luca from Vocaloid, that
Hmm.
I had that worn at Densetsu, and I got recognised in my latest photo shoot as being from Densetsu, which was pretty cool. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So again, that's a kind of similar question. What's like been the one cosplay that this year that you have seen that you really didn't expect to see, like a really rare one?
Mm. At conventions,
Yes.
I haven't been to many. um, I would say there was a Sylvanas at not London, sorry, Newcastle Film and Comic Con, which it wasn't the one I knew, and I was really interested in what that was, but unfortunately I didn't get to speak to her. I knew it was Sylvanas, but I wasn't really sure what it was, and I was really intrigued on where she was from and that. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to change gear a little bit, and if I'm not hitting my mic, I can ask you, so the funniest things that have ever happened for you at a convention?
I don't think I've had much happen to me, but funny things have happened at conventions, and many people falling off the stage, which happens a lot.
Oh, Ursula.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that's the funniest things that have ever happened to you at a convention. Has there ever been anything that's been really, really funny that has happened to you while in cosplay? Like any
Sorry.
that's okay. Any funny situations that have happened to you while you've been cosplaying, like doing photo shoots or anything like that?
um, Trying to get into a costume, maybe. It took ages to do my Lucy shoot.
Is
Trying to
that the
find.
one? Is that the one that you showed us when you were on the iGame podcast where you had the tape?
Yeah, the bandage hooks. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was quite funny. Trying to find a way to have it stick was quite what was creative. It was the blood that we were using was like a syrup, so it stuck to everything, which that was funny trying to work out how to get it to stick.
Awesome. So I actually have heard that.
Sorry.
That's okay, don't worry about it. I've heard that in the month of December you're going to be doing the 30 days of cosplay. Why don't you tell us on that?
It's just the 30 days like pretty much like an interview to myself, but in writing. I also did an actual cosplay 30-day cosplay challenge making cosplay. I thought December would be the worst month ever to do anything like that.
December is the worst month of ever to do anything.
Yes, yeah. So I just thought I'd do the little 30 questions one day and just pop it up each day as I go. I think the first one's like, what's my first cosplay and stuff like that. Yeah.
Awesome. Kind of similar to what we're doing just now. Now, have you organised any cosplays for next year?
Yes, I have. I'm to be in a trio for the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, awesome.
So that'll be Bubbles.
You'll need to get listening to Tara Strong for that one.
Yes.
And oddly enough, you can use the same voice when you do Bubbles for Harley Quinn if you ever do her again. It's the same voice actress.
True, that's it. Yeah, I'm all in now.
Yeah. I can already hear the internet screaming at me. No, Tara Strong only did a few Harley Quinn a few times. It was Arlene Sorkin. Well, yes, I know, but she currently does the voice of Harley, so tough luck.
True.
So you've got Bubbles. Anybody else that you can tell us about, or is it all top?
And not necessarily secret. It's more like I'm going to try to make,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to make a weapon of some sort for my very first craft form creation. But I
Uh-huh.
haven't decided on what yet.
Now, I've been told by a certain person who
Yeah.
shall remain nameless, whisper, not so nameless now, he's told me that he thinks that you should cosplay as the Huntress
Really?
from the CW's T-shirt Arrow.
Oh, I don't think I've seen a version.
I will try my very best to get a picture sent off to you of her. Because he said to me, and this is apropos of nothing, and I'm going to really embarrass him now, so I'm going to get shot for this. But he told me that if you put a picture of the actress and a picture of you side by side, you're like identical. So he thinks that that would be a really good fit.
Oh, well, I'll give it a whirl. I'll see what it's like.
Mm.
Yeah.
And Huntress is one of those kind of really obscure characters like you don't really see an awful lot of her at conventions. Because there's so many different outfits that she wears. Well, not so many, there's like 3 that I think of. Yeah, because Huntress is one of those obscure characters. I can think of like 3 costumes off the top of my head. And the arrow one is just one of them, and you could do a foam weapon with that.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to check that out, definitely.
I'll send you through some pictures and you can see what I mean by it. But yeah, he thinks that the Huntress would be a really cool one for you.
That would be awesome. I'd love to do. I'd like to do costumes that people recommend as well. So I'll check that out, definitely.
Well, I don't know that you've done it before. I know that Colby's done a Raven from the Teen Titans.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I'd recommend any one of the Teen Titans, and I can pretty much give you a full lowdown on their history. But any kind of comic book character is generally quite cool to do.
Yeah, definitely.
In your opinion, do you think props are really important to a cosplay, or like not as much?
It depends really. For a photo shoot, they are extremely handy to pose with.
Mm-hmm.
But around conventions, they can actually be quite a nuisance. If you've got bags and stuff, props are quite difficult to carry around. But they do make the cosplay. They do make the cosplay quite awesome. If you were like Cloud or something, and you've got an awesome Buster Blade, it's like wow, that's so cool. But costumes, cosplay on its own can be just as cool.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So your pro tip there would be if you're doing a photo shoot, do what you can to have a prop, although it's not like dire to have one.
No, it does help you, especially if you're not very used to being behind the camera.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you pose your hands, which would be the most awkward things ever. It's also annoying. You're like, what do I do with my hands? If I had a prop, you have your hands on a gun, or you have it on a sword, or even a bouquet of flowers, you have your hands doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the tip there would be have prop for a photo shoot if possible.
Yeah,
if
definitely.
at a convention, try and avoid carrying a prop.
Big props, definitely. But no,
Okay.
they can make cosplay also conventions. But if you're like me and carry everything with you, they're very difficult to carry around with you. Yeah.
Now, I did this, and I've done this at 3 conventions when I was cosplaying as my male Harley. I had a hammer made myself, and it's quite big.
Yeah.
So, would you have said to me, like, if you had seen me beforehand with the hammer, would you have said, look, you're going to be carrying around stuff, don't take the hammer?
It depends. Because of the Comic Con, there was enough space and not that many people, so you weren't risking your prop being damaged.
Mm-hmm.
But it like bigger conventions, MCM, which are very tightly packed normally, they can get damaged easily. Honestly, I don't recommend taking them, but at the time they make cool photos as well.
Yeah. That one's a real flip coin if you ask me, because like when you're at the big events, that's the most likely when you're going to be photographed.
It is, yeah, I know.
So
it's a risk.
it's a risk. That's okay. In your opinion, what is the best or the worst thing anyone can do when it comes? Well, Sorry, let me reread this. In your opinion, what are the best and worst things a new cosplayer can do when getting ready to go to a cosplay event?
What I would recommend they do, like the best thing to do is don't worry about not having an awesome or anything. This is your first time. You probably need to make yourself more aware of everything. Have fun, preferably go along with friends, and don't worry about cosplay as much. The worst thing you could do is worry you don't have an awesome costume. Well, in my opinion, I had the best time in a less than known costume, hanging out with friends. That's the thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, just out of casual interest, do you belong to any particular cosplay groups?
Not really. Mostly alongside Kobe Kicks, most of the time now. Online, I'm myself in a few groups, but it's mainly just me. I'm alone and a bunch of friends. Yeah.
Awesome. I noticed that you started a cosplay unite group on iGame Online, so
Yes, I want to get hopefully more people into cosplay on iGame Online.
mm-hmm.
Bring in a few more people from the outside world into it.
Yeah. So guys, if you are cosplayers and you're listening to this, do head along to iGame Online, shameless plug, and sign up. It's a free sign up, so you can get in no problem. You don't need to pay anything, and you can join Little Rascals group, of which I'm already a member. So, very lastly, I just want to ask, what advice would you give to anyone who is looking to start cosplaying, but they're a little unsure where to start?
I would start by picking out a character that you love yourself. Pick out something that you want to be, and if you want help making the costume, have a look online tutorials. There's plenty on YouTube and plenty on, say, cosplay.com. And don't worry much about accuracy. If you want to throw on a t-shirt and throw on a cap and you are that character, whether you make it, buy it, whatever, but you just gotta be cool with it, really. Don't worry so much about it. But I would say get friends as well. Friends help.
Yes, because like we spoke previously about, well, I think it was you, about different areas of expertise. In cosplay, I mentioned that I'm pretty good with doing makeup in terms of like face paint and such likes, and that I couldn't sew a lick, but I know people who can. You know, so I know people who can do sewing and are quite handy when it comes to that. Are you in a similar boat? Is there specific things that you can't do, but you can do other things kind of better?
Full-blown fabric, mainly polycotton, cotton. I've used satin, chiffon, but I haven't used any kind of craft foam, which I believe Kobe Kicks has used a lot more. Well, she has used a lot more than me. But I make more dress style stuff. I follow patterns, I don't make it up. Where I Kobe Kicks, I make their own patterns. So we kind of like polar opposites.
Opposites attract.
And she just wow. Knows what you're doing, I suppose.
Wham bam and thank you, ma'am. That's pretty awesome. So at this point, I'd like to thank Little Rascal for taking the time out and coming to chat with us about a good chunk of things cosplay.
It's really good fun.
Awesome. We loved having you here, and hopefully we'll get an opportunity to sit down with you again. We might do a little section on, I don't know, maybe some interesting cosplays that have happened at some point. Also, we're hoping to have you back on again for the podcast on iGame Online, alongside the wonderful Dark Lee, the ever fun Sally, the artist Connie J, and the Oliver Nutter Whisper. Only kidding there. Yeah, we're hoping to get you back at some point so that we can chat to you more on there, and I'm hoping to sit down at some point and pick your brains about Densetsu a little bit more.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe closer to the
Sounds
time we'll be back on here and we'll chatter about Denzetsu and see what kind of...
When I know more myself.
When you know more yourself, yes. Maybe you can give us the inside scoop about what it's like and tell us more about special guests and such like if you've got special guests coming.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Awesome. Well, that's it, guys. So thank you to Little Rascal, and we will see you again soon with another interview, hopefully.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.